All right, hey everybody, it's Jeanette Trade Thirsty here, and let's talk about the market. All right, so the market's nervous, and the way I look at it is like that's your opportunity. It's pre-Fed day, so Wall Street's lynching. Like it's stocks are falling, bonds are bouncing, and I just looking at a bunch of the headlines this evening, and they're just noisy. But I don't trade headlines, right? And I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. I just trade the plan. If I were trading headlines, I'd be screwed. So I'm gonna go back a couple of days, and we're gonna talk about using ETFs like GLD and SLV. Let's talk about SLV for a second. So that was tactical, right? I'm targeted in around $29. It hit a high 30.29, which was perfect. And that's when I trimmed some of the position, but I'm still holding a piece of it. I'm really actually planning to build a core position in SLV with targets 72% higher. So that's how I feel about that right now. Now on the GLD, as you know, and on the SLV, I have the physical silver. So it's like the trading the ETF, it's what the market's telling me to do right now. But ultimately, I'm going to hold my physical for I don't even know when. It's a tough call on that one. All right, so let's talk about GLD. Not planning on jumping out of that. Like I said, long from 118 and buying and selling along the way. And so it's not playing there. I'll talk about that on the regular. We're in pre-Fed behaviors. It is just the way it is. If you look at even today, I read what's this guy's name, Secretary of Treasury. He tried to calm things down, right? This guy Besant or belligerent, whatever his name is. He said some stuff, and investors went and they just kept on selling. So you can't really trade the news, right? Trump's back on the warpath with the tariffs, and the market's not buying that. I mean, if you look at even like the big badass Paul Tudor Jones, big name in hedge fund world. If you don't know him, I don't know who you are. He said Trump could cut tariffs by 50%, and then said stocks could still hit new lows. And so when you look at stuff like that, you're like, oh crap, what's next, right? That's major. Good news is getting sold. It's the whole blood in the streets, right? And that tells you where sentiment really is when you think about it. One thing I found interesting today is when I start talking about things like, are we in a recession? And my boyfriend said, do you think we're in a recession? His name's Nick. I'm going to talk about him all the time. And I'm like, I don't know if we're in a recession. I don't, I feel like I'm still at the point where I'm thinking about how am I going to behave? What am I going to do? Am I going to make big changes in my life based on what the market's doing? Maybe on some levels, but not really yet at the point where I'm going, this is scaring me. But then and this is the kind of stuff that really drives that, is when I look at companies like DoorDash. I guess I can't get it in here. Let's see. All right. When I look at companies like DoorDash today, they went in and they bought, oh, I'm still pulling up GLD. Software's not pulling it up. All right. They moved up their earnings call, right? Because they had these big announcements they were going to make, and then they missed, and the stock dropped 7%. But what's behind that? They just put $5.2 billion on two companies. And we're talking about one that's in hospitality tech, one that's in the food delivery. And so they aren't panicking, right? They're making a strategic pivot. And it's a move to survive and stay relevant. That's all it is in a tightening economy. And so that's where we are. I feel like tightening economy. Let's just talk about me for a second, right? Today I'm sitting at my desk, I'm working, and I see some posts come up about Ethereum. And I'm like, all right. So I look at Ethereum and I'm like, it says something about tech is going to boost Ethereum, something, something. I put my phone down. I don't even think about it because I've been long Ethereum for a long time. And so in my brain, I'm like, okay, well, hopefully it gives Ethereum a boost. And then I look at it this evening and that thing didn't get a boost. It lost money today. So I'm like, okay, that's why we don't trade news. And that's like my crypto review. When you think about it, like bullish, tech new upgrade, whatever. No, you don't trade the news. Check the chart. ETH was down today, and that's why I didn't add to my position, because when I saw it, I was like, okay, hope it gives a boost. If it doesn't, yeah, right. Don't trade the hype, trade the setup. News doesn't move the markets, the money does. So let's talk about what's coming up. Okay, so in the next couple of days, I'm going to give you guys two things, right? S&P, full S&P breakdown. I've got a colleague in the industry, and he's just put it out there on big numbers in the S&P, how to correlate that to the spider if you want to trade that, the SPY, SPY. And I'm also going to talk about Tesla. So Tesla has been an important stock to me for quite some time, and we've got news coming in Tesla, and I'm going to give you a different take on Tesla in the next couple of days. So watch for the videos. One thing I'm doing right now is let me see if I can change this thing. I want to do a quick contest on where you think that the S&P is going to close on Friday. And this involves winning stuff. I'm going to give away a swag bag for anybody that sends in one of their responses. Closest, we'll call it closest to the pin, right? Closest to the close on the S&P 500 on Friday is going to win big old swag bag for your friends at Trade Thirsty. And all you have to do is go back to the email that you received this video in and just reply to it and give me your name and give me where you think, whatever you think we're going to close, closest to the close on Friday with the S&P 500. And then I'll make a big announcement in a video over the weekend, let you know who won. And from there, we'll send you some stuff. Now, once again, let's talk tariffs. US based only. Please do not send me your pick on where it's going to close on Friday from somewhere way across the world because Alabama is not sending it to you. I'm just not. I love you. I appreciate you. Stay in the United States if you want to play. And you know what? I'll give you a big across the internet world shout out if you win and you're not in the US. But if you're in the US and you win, I'm gonna send you a swag bag. So that's it. That's all I've got. Watch my next two videos. S&P coming up, big S&P numbers and how to use the spider, and of course, talk on Tesla.